Using a projector is the most dependable way to get the exact look you want for a cookie. Whether you're using it for writing, character cookies, logos, anything under the sun, a projector is a critical item in your cookie toolkit. Now, I do understand they're a little more expensive. It took me quite a while to save up for a projector. They can range anywhere from like $80 to like $300. So they can get up there in price for sure. But when I got my projector, it felt like I could finally make anything I wanted. It's just so much easier to have that image to trace rather than to do it freehand and be like looking at like a reference photo or something. It will never come out as good as if you were just tracing it onto the cookie directly. Like anytime I'm making cookies, I'm probably using my projector. So with all that said, the very first projector I bought was the Kodak Luma 75. And I have to say this was a very good projector for the time. While the picture and everything looked great when I was casting the image, there are a couple things about this projector which I just can't stand anymore. And I've complained about them in other videos as well. I don't know if it's just my unit, but the power button on the side is like jammed in or something. Like it's not like a good click that you'd get from a normal button. You just kind of like graze your finger over it and it turns on. But the problem that I started having was this thing would start turning on by itself. And I think it has something to do with like, I don't know, just this power button got tired or something like that. So that's really been a huge sticking point for me. And the other thing I really hate about this one is to access the menus, you have to use these buttons on top, which are like touch buttons. So every time I would go to adjust the position of the projector, I usually accidentally like swiped my hand over it and it would like kick me out of the menu or go to a different setting. And it was just really frustrating to deal with that. And I just don't think it was like a very user-friendly feature. So it was just really annoying to have to deal with that all the time. I just think the user interface like kind of stinks on this one. So I felt motivated to replace this projector with something new. So today we're going to be unboxing my brand new projector and getting it set up. Because I had so many issues with the Kodak Luma, I did not want to replace it with another one. So I ended up going with the AKASO brand projector, which I know is also a popular model among cookie decorators from Amazon. It has some pretty good reviews and people had a lot of good things to say about it. I'm just really hoping it doesn't have the same issues that this one does. Let's unbox this together and we'll see what we have. So I'm gonna open this up. Let's see what we have inside. This is like a nice box. Okay. All right, so we have the projector laying on the top. This looks pretty slim, which is nice. So this is the size. I would say it's probably the size of like an iPhone. So it's pretty compact compared to the Kodak one. And if I line them up, I can see that the AKASO one is a little more narrow than the Kodak, which is great because one of the problems I always had with my Kodak too was the mounting stand that I used for it, like this mounting tripod. The holder was too small to fit this in and it kind of like barely made it. And I was always afraid this thing was just gonna like pop out and like come shooting out. So if you're using a stand like this with the phone holder attachment, the Kodak Luma is not really gonna be a good fit for this, but it does seem like the AKASO is gonna fit perfectly, which is great. Okay, so let's see what else is in the box. All right, so first up, it looks like we have the power brick. And oh my gosh, a remote. This is great. Okay, and in here we have a mini tripod, like a mini tabletop tripod, which is, you know, good if you're going to be watching movies with it too. Looks like we have the power adapter and they give you an HDMI cable. That is a nice bonus. I don't think I got an HDMI cable with the Kodak Luma one. I honestly can't remember. So we're off to a really good start. It looks like they give you everything you need right in the box. Oh my gosh, I just love that they give you a remote too. I'm very excited. Let's take a closer look at the unit itself. Like I said, it's a nice slim body. So on this side, we have the area where you plug in the power. We have a USB, we have an HDMI. So they give you lots of options. The Kodak Luma unit has the exact same plugs. On the bottom, we do have a little 1/4-inch screw where you can attach the tripod they give you. Or as you've probably seen in my ultimate projector setup video, I like to use these types of clamps to clamp the projector onto my rig. You can screw the end of the clamp right into the bottom of this to attach it to another rig or a different kind of tripod if you need. Oh, and you guys, there's actual buttons on the side of the projector. No more touch buttons. I'm so excited. And between these and the remote, that really makes it easy to control and switch menus and do different things. So that's a nice bonus. All right, so we unboxed it. Let's get this thing set up and see what it does. So I just plugged in the projector for the first time, and I see that it is charging. I think I'm gonna let it charge for a little bit just to make sure it has a little life in it before I try to turn it on. The projector is now charged, and what I'm gonna do is plug the HDMI into the HDMI port and connect the other end to my laptop. If you watched my other video on my projector setup, you'll know that connecting to my laptop is my preferred way to project images, and I use the program Canva to create all the images I need for cookie decorating. I've just found it's easiest to connect the projector straight up to my laptop. There's no Wi-Fi or Bluetooth connections or worried about, porting over an image. It's just a direct connection. Next, I'm gonna attach the projector to my overhead stand. Okay, so it looks like it's loading up here, which is great. And I'm gonna turn off my light so we can see. I'm gonna use the focus dial to focus the picture. It is very easy to rotate the little dial. I would say the picture is pretty crisp. Hopefully you can see that enough. I can read the words very easily. So this is looking good so far. So in terms of setup, I'm using the remote to kind of guide through the menu here. I do notice that you have to point the remote at the back of the machine. So if I point it this way, it's really not doing anything. You have to point it at the back of the machine. And just going into some of the settings here, we have management, image, and network. I guess if you want to hook your projector up to your Wi-Fi, you can do that. Just looking at the image settings, it might be a little hard to see, so sorry about that, but there's brightness, projection mode, projection location, desktop or ceiling. So I guess if you're like watching a movie like on the couch or something or in bed, you can project on the ceiling. That's pretty cool. Keystone, so, oh, I see. That kind of like distorts the image a little bit if you're like projecting at an angle. We are not projecting at an angle, so I'm gonna leave that off. Go down to the HDMI setup. Just take a second, perfect. All right, so it looks like it's duplicating my laptop screen, so that's fine. So I have my picture in Canva like this, and it's duplicating the image perfectly. I would say this looks pretty crisp. I'm gonna turn the dial just a little more just to make sure it is in focus perfectly. That looks really nice. Now, compared to the Kodak, I still have my Kodak one hooked up. Let's see how it looks. So I won't be able to project the image from my computer onto this at the same time, but we kind of can see the crispness of the menu screen at least. Again, if you watch my other videos on the projector, you'll know that the reason I love to use Canva is because you can adjust the image live in action. So it just really helps to keep your workflow moving nicely and not have to stop and upload photos or fuss with things too much. A projector really is the easiest way to get better results, especially for custom orders. So I hope this video helped to review the AKASO projector for cookie decorating. If you're stuck between getting the Kodak Luma and the AKASO, I definitely recommend the AKASO. While the Kodak one did work okay, there were a couple features about it I just didn't love. I think for ease of use and functionality, the AKASO is a clear winner. This exact model is linked down in the description below if you want to check it out. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a like and don't forget to subscribe. I've got a lot more sweet techniques coming your way.